Hey folks, Rick here. It's been another bipolar week here at my house. I basically tried to work on my computer this week and I messed it up. I don't know why. I used to teach computers, I used to fix computers, but that's been quite a few years ago, and I got inside there. It was like one of these new cars. I didn't know what I was doing, but I started just taking things apart, just like I used to, and I put everything back together. No big deal. I did find out that my computer was not expandable the way I thought it was. So, I put everything back together, turned it on, and the screen wouldn't work. It wasn't all in one computer, so the computer and the monitor was all built in together. All I got was a black screen with just a little bit of not color, but a little bit of light in the background. I got really irritated because computers are my hobbies, and it's about the only thing I've got in my life to look forward to. So I got irritated and went to this store. I do have a credit line at one store, and I bought me a new computer. I really can't afford it, but I needed one, so I went ahead and got it. I paid all my bills this week, luckily, all except for one, and I'm not going to have the money to pay for it because I spent a lot of money on the internet, on Amazon, buying some programs. I even found out I bought some programs twice. Sometimes after 9 o'clock p.m. it's like I just totally change, and I start doing stuff and totally forget what I'm doing. The next day rolls around and it's like, well, 9 o'clock I went to bed, but in actuality I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning buying stuff. So now I've got to talk to my bank. I'm waiting on some refunds. I've sent out some emails. Some people have agreed to give me some refunds. And once I get them, I've got to talk to my bank, get all that straightened out. I did have a couple overdrafts, and the bank will fix it. That's not a problem. But it's just waiting for these refunds to come back in. Sometimes I just don't know what's wrong with me, to be honest with you. It's like I have two personalities. It's like I have a personality out in public, which is very good. People seem to like me. I get a lot accomplished. But then once I get home, I'm a totally different person. It's like I change attitudes, and my sister lives with me, and I make her ill a lot, and I don't mean to. It's just the fact that my bark is worse than my bite. Things just get away, and I get very demanding, and I tried to do some reading this week, but I was so sleepy. It's like every time I turned around, started to read, I'd get a couple pages read, and I'd doze off in my chair. Kind of like narcolepsy almost, but I don't know what's causing it. It's something that I'm going to have to bring up to my doctor next month when I have a talk with him. Um, my sister's kind of upset with me because I bought that computer. I'd promised to buy her something next month, but then I bought myself something sooner, which is really not fair. And she's ill, and she went behind my back and asked someone to come and look at the computer that I broke, and they showed up tonight. And here I was, just like, well, I appreciate you coming here, but I was nice to them, and I sat there and worked with them, and we did get my computer back up and running again, which it was running fine before. It's just the monitor wasn't working correctly. But the only problem is the bottom of the screen was dark and the top of the screen was bright. So somehow I did make a mistake when I was trying to fix that computer. One thing that I was doing today, I was doing a little bit of reading, and I prefer reading nonfiction because I'm always learning something when I'm reading nonfiction. And I had someone tell me one time, they says, sleep, just go to bed at night, you should turn your computer off and read a little bit before bed. And I'm like, well, Doc, I was like, I do read some at night. And he told me that I need to read fiction. And I'm like, why read fiction? I says, I'm not learning anything. And nonfiction is just what I prefer. It keeps my mind going, but sometimes it makes me want to do things. Like my hobbies, or suddenly I get more hobbies. I've done a lot of things on the internet that was good. I've done a lot of things on the internet that was bad, but I've never broken any laws. And another book I was reading today, which I'll have in the comment section of this video, but I'd like to share it with you. One of the books is called An Unquiet Mind by K. Redfield Jameson. It's about moods and madness, and this book just described me to a T. I'll see if I can get it up. Whoops. Wait a second. I knocked it off the screen. There we go. See. There we go. An Unquiet Mind. A memoir of moods and madness. I felt like this woman was talking to me when I was reading it today. And another book, this book I have held on. I've just put all my books on the tablets. Oh, I don't like the cover on this. But this is another book that's always been important to me. I read this book about 25, 30 years ago. But it's by Patty Duke. It's called A Brilliant Madness. Is living with manic depressive illness. And Patty Duke, she was the one from the Patty Duke Show. I don't know if any of you know that show, but it took place back in the 50s or 60s, where Patty Duke had a twin cousin, but she had lived a really rough life, and she was bipolar, but she was doing drugs and alcohol as a child. She had been moved around, but listening to her story also told me a lot about my own childhood, and it's such a good book to read. But those are some of the things that's been happening to me this week. And like I said earlier, it's been a bipolar week, just like every other week. And I'm trying to use my skills as much as possible, but sometimes they just get away from me. And I hope that things that I say to you, you'll realize that you're not the only one in the world who has these same problems that I have. There are many of us with these issues. And like I said, I just hope that whatever I say can help you, and we just look forward to having a better week next week. I never know what each week is going to bring. Maybe I'm going to be manic, maybe I'm going to be in bed, but for the most part, I try to get up every morning, fix myself up, have breakfast, have my coffee. If I have to, I'll go back to bed, but at least I can say I got up and did something. So, until next time, y'all have a good week. Rick out.